So like our standard start time is a minute after kind of company policy. So I'm going to give 1 more minute for any stragglers to join in, and then we'll get started. Hey, Andrew.
Just coming off the previous meeting. Sorry about that.
Were you in the magic show or?
Yep.
So I didn't read the invitation at all. I didn't realize that we had to bring stuff.
I didn't bring anything because I am not in a location where I can really bring stuff easily. So.
That's right. You're in Greece, yeah?
Yeah.
Did you say magic show?
It did.
Okay.
Company sort of get together entertainment thing.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
There's always little fun quarterly events. I'm still stuck on Kenny G. I'm upset that I missed that one. But yeah, this quarter was a magic show. I'm going to change my view. Great. And we are a minute after. I think everybody that's coming is in now. So let's go ahead and get started. Greetings, everybody who is watching later on YouTube. Thank you so much for tuning in. For those who have decided to join us live, thank you so much for joining. This is the Troubleshoot community meeting number, I'm not even sure. I think we're on number 4, number 5. Doesn't matter. Community meeting happening now. Thank you all so much for joining, and we're just going to dive right on into our agenda. We've got a couple of entries from Programmer Q. I promise I can read. Hi.
That's me.
Good deal.
That's my GitHub username.
Okay, awesome. So got that association now. So your first one is the ability to specify namespace and or selectors at runtime, templated support bundle definition to accommodate a bundle for a specific given instance of an application. For cases where there may be multiple instances of the application that vary by namespace, deployment names, labels, etc. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about that. Do you have an issue open currently? Or I can just go look, never mind.
No, I haven't done the issues yet. So I'm pretty new to working with this project. It looks like it's fantastic. And I just wanted to join the community meeting and see if I should be opening the issues, see if there's any guidelines so I can open them properly. I can do that for sure, but I can talk just a little bit about the use case if that's helpful. And I'm just hoping for a little bit of feedback on how to properly communicate and do the requests. But basically, I've got some software that we don't have a standardized deploy to do. We do have some example Helm charts that get used, but people fork them, they rename them. The release name changes the name of the deployment and stuff like that. So they can go into any namespace. They can have any name for a deployment. Sometimes it's a stateful set. And I love your Zoom background, by the way. So it's just one of those things where I want to be able to say, well, instance A is for prod, and I want a support dump for just prod, and I don't want to see anything from any other namespace. And it looks like right now I would have to templatize the support bundle YAML because the namespace is hard coded in there. And the selectors for which pods to run commands in, that's hard coded in the YAML as it stands today. And I just want to make sure that my understanding of the product is correct. Maybe there's a way to do what I want to do already. And if not, I can go ahead and, someone's sharing and I met some replicated folks at KubeCon. Oh, that's just a contributing doc. So that's how I found out about the project. So.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining. And I am going to mute myself and I'm going to let you all have a little conversation. We've already got the contributing doc. I should also introduce myself. I'm the community manager. So it would actually be my job to get you onboarded. So I'll put my email address in the chat room. And if you want to ping me later, I can give you a little walkthrough.
Okay.
So are you trying to collect the git-o YAML equivalent and like logs from that namespace, or like what are you trying to collect from the namespace?
So the logs and the and just like scraping everything that's in the namespace, that's fine. But for some things, I want to execute a command inside the pods or in a deployment and run commands specific to the application so that I can inspect internal state and do some post processing on that. It dumps out a bunch of YAML objects, and I can inspect that later.
So I know that at least some of the collectors in the support bundle project, you're able to specify selectors. I don't know if that's consistent across the board. Is it like the exec that's giving you problems specifically, or?
Exec is the one that kind of highlighted the issue. I think logs also uses selectors, but part of my problem is the selectors aren't predictable because there are so many ways to deploy this particular application. So I would just need to say, all right, well, what's your namespace and what's your selector? And that would be an input from the user.
So the way we've achieved this in our product, since our product is written in Go, like we use Go templates, and the Go templates render the support YAML, and then the support YAML, it will collect things like what's the namespace, and then we'll inject that into the support bundle YAML spec, and then just collect with that spec that's then generated. So it's not really built into the tool itself, but kind of like, yeah.
So I'll take that as a permission to go ahead and just templatize the YAML. And then I can have like an instruction page that says, what's your namespace, what's your selector? And they hit a button, they get a URL that dumps out the support YAML that they can point to. And I think that would be fine. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing something.
This is a gap in my knowledge of the project as well. Like, I think this might be supported, or this might be something I think was discussed to be supported, but being able to run the support bundle in a single namespace. So for example, if you ran kubectl support bundle -n, my namespace spec, then it would just collect from that namespace. I think if it doesn't always already work that way today, that sounds like it solves like one of your two problems. And if you find, I don't know, somebody else on the call might have a better idea of if that works, but if it doesn't, that makes a lot of sense to build in the product or fix in the product. As far as as far as supporting like prompting for names of resources, that would be a little bit more like that doesn't seem like it follows a pattern of like kubectl and like Kubernetes, because typically like that might be something I use selectors for, like say there's a custom selector, a customizable selector in a Helm chart or something, but then there's also like a static consistent selector that would,
well,
so I
yeah,
can target.
Part of it is I'm working with Helm chart that just isn't following best practices. So I am going to do some pull requests on those, but there's other folks that have like forked versions of the old Helm chart and stuff like that. So I want to target as many people as possible. So that's kind of what my motivation was for having a templatable selector.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, just kind of jumping in here, I think, one thing that you bring up that I think is pretty interesting is the ability to kind of specify a namespace at maybe like runtime. If we're talking about like, let's say kube control specs for, let's say, pods or deployments or things like that, and even Helm charts and things like that, you can do a Helm install, and then, if you don't give it a namespace, it goes to the default, but you can also give it a -n, So I don't think, I think right now, and I don't know all of our collectors, but I was just looking at one while we were on the call, and it looks like a namespace is kind of required right now before, like, in the actual definition of the collector itself.
Mhm.
And I'm wondering, as a discussion topic, what do we think about maybe things that have namespaces having the option of a namespace being optional and using whatever the default namespace for the kube control command is, but then also giving it the ability to override with a -n.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I agree with you. Like, I think at runtime you should be able to specify a namespace when running the support bundle CLI command, and that would make the tool, much more usable when with like the example you cited with Helm charts, where you can like do a Helm install -- namespace and install the same chart into any namespace you choose.
So we currently like support some of the collectors support passing in like a namespace, and you can do that like via a flag. I think like you can pass any -n to the support bundle command, but like not all of the collectors support that. So there are collectors. So like for example, the cluster resources collector does support that. Like if you're collecting the resources, and there are some other collectors that support it, but not every single collector has that implemented.
So it sounds like it's like something we consider a bug if it didn't work as expected. Like, yeah, like this seems like an important feature of the product.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to go ahead and open an issue on that. I have found y'all on the Kubernetes app troubleshoot Slack channel, so I can drop a note in there once I've got those created, if that's okay, if that's helpful.
Yeah, that'd be super duper helpful. And yeah, so like little background on the project, it came out of like the need for, our product, like troubleshooting our product, but we saw it as kind of like a useful project that we wanted that, the community could use, such as
it's extremely useful.
Oh, yeah, that's great to hear.
Yeah.
But sometimes
yeah,
we tend to only, like if it's working for our use case, then
right. Yeah, no, that's
it's working for the community.
That's all it is I'm just looking
at
at it at a slightly different angle. That's all it seems like. So hopefully that's a change that can be implemented without breaking anything. It sounds like it should be a non-breaking change, so that's good.
Yeah.
So yeah, cool. So for the selectors, that's a little bit more complicated. So I'm happy to just take that on as I'm going to do my own templating. I've thought about maybe doing some crazy stuff like scraping what the Helm releases are and trying to figure out what the selector is based on that. And that's too much to put into this project, in my opinion. I'd rather implement a wrapper script to do that calculation, and then just render it and feed it into the support bundle command and go from there. So yeah, okay, so that's the first item, I think. So I'll go ahead and create the issue to do namespace scoping with a -n, and that'll be my action item to get that opened up.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, thanks. That's great. Like really good feedback. Great to hear how you're using it and how it's solving a problem that, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to write all this on my own, and then I found y'all at KubeCon, and I'm happy. It saved me a lot of trouble. So hopefully I'll be able to take it through the finish line and we can put it in our product, but we'll see. Because it's not up to me in the end. So yeah, anyway, that's politics. So next item on there, what did I put for the second thing on our agenda?
That was ability to determine storage class capabilities and analyzers, conditions based on provisioner, allow volume expansion, or anything else that may come up.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I can just create an issue for that, because right now it just checks for the existence of either a default storage class or a storage class of a given name. But since the names don't always mean something, the more important aspect is what the provisioner is, and I didn't see a way to do that with the current storage class analyzer.
Yeah, that makes sense. So just, yeah, once again, hasn't been a priority for us. Not
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but it seems like a great addition to the tool.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll open up an issue. It's something I might be capable of doing a pull request for, but I'm not going to hold my breath. I'm not that great. Despite my GitHub name, I'm not really that great at coding.
Yeah, and we're happy to help you in any way we can. If you want to start, or if you want to take a stab at it, we're a small team. We could always use the help. So
okay, sounds good. Yeah, I'll take a look, but I'm not really that great when it comes to Go, especially. Like if it was in Python, I could probably get it knocked out, but not Go. But that's just something I can read Go just fine and run a debugger, and that's about it. And then go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say I think I might have actually met you at KubeCon. You were hanging out with like Joe and Ada, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, I remember now.
You weren't on camera, so I wasn't sure if I would see the person I was hanging out with or not.
Yeah, no, I think it was that Thursday event night. I remember now.
Yep.
Sorry to sidetrack, but I just realized.
No worries. Yeah, no, that was me. I had my hair in pigtail braids, I think, that day. So, and then I didn't put it down, but the other question I have, I know that you can run a kubectl plugin standalone, but the current install instructions are one or two more steps than I would like to pass along to my users. So I'm wondering if it's a supported method if I just say, hey, download the support bundle binary and just use that instead of going through the kubectl plugin process and then running it, because that's just an extra couple steps. I would rather just say do a wget and then run this.
So we have something crew.sh that'll actually bootstrap crew and install the crew plugin for you, kind of as like one command. It works with all of our plugins. I'm not sure, is this something you've looked at?
I have seen the curl bash install script, but having crew as an additional component is just another package installer that is, it's really crew that I'm not a fan of. And a lot of people, they hear kubectl plugin, they go, oh, I don't want to deal with that. So it's just this, there's some challenges, and I want to make it feel easy, if that makes sense. And then there's also a potential option that I could talk our engineers into rolling in and vendoring it as their own command, and we could just distribute and just kind of our own wrapper script that does the calculation and then calls out to the support binary, or maybe it's a Go binary. So there's that option as well. But I wasn't sure if the non-kubectl plugin route was kind of a first class citizen, or you really want us to use the kubectl plugin approach. I don't know if that makes sense.
It totally does. Someone else actually asked pretty much the same question, if there was a way to install support bundle without having to use crew or any additional plugins.
I want to say it will work, but
it'll work.
Yeah,
it does work.
It works.
But I don't.
Yeah, it works the same as running into the plugin. We import the Cuddle same package to load the environment from the config kube config. So if you want to use it, I think as long as Cuddle keeps working the way it works, which I think is just going to continue working, it's not going to be a problem. And yeah, I think it'd be good if we had a way to install this without crew. I dislike crew. It's a pain to manage sometimes.
I never bootstrapped a Cuddle plugin project, but from what it sounds like, the only thing it gives you is it searches for something named kubectl _ and then the name of the plugin.
Yeah, I mean, I've installed other kubectl plugins just through Brew on Mac, and it it's just another package manager, and it just looks for the binary of a certain name.
But I would expect kubectl to set up some environment for you or something, but I suppose maybe it doesn't, like
No, it
as a
doesn't.
plugin. Okay.
It doesn't. We have to load the command line. So we like magically have the same flags that kubectl has because we import the package and we add those flags to Cobra, and then but kubectl itself doesn't set up anything; just spins up another process.
Interesting. Okay. Well, that's all the questions I had. I've been very pleased with it so far.
Awesome.
Thing just to keep in mind is like if you don't use kubectl plugin, then there are some benefits that comes if you use the kubectl, like you can redirect it like -o JSON or -o YAML, those kind of things. Like if you want to, those benefits, I'm not sure you will get it if you don't use the kubectl.
Yeah, I'm not as worried on that front because I'm after that .tar.gz.
Okay. Cool.
All right, so I guess that's a good segue into open floor. That was actually going to be one of my questions, whether or not support bundle could run without crew. I'm sorry. So let's do open floor. This is opportunity to talk about anything troubleshoot related or replicated open source related or Kubernetes related. The floor is yours.
Am I the only community member here?
Today, yes. Not generally.
Okay, that's what I thought.
You probably average one per meeting, but
Yeah, I figured.
But it's a different one per meeting.
yeah.
Oh, actually, Kyle, was it you that mentioned, you're not on camera, so I know I met several folks, and I can't remember if it was you or someone else that I talked to about this, because I had asked you if Troubleshoot could run outside of Kubernetes and run the commands that I would normally want to exec in a pod, but run that just straight up, so I could give someone the same process and use the same YAML definition. I think you mentioned there might be possible and not documented.
Yeah. I mentioned host preflights, which is kind of what we do to check for CPUs, for storage, for things that happen before Kubernetes is there. I believe that was the conversation that we kind of had. Like I said, it's not documented, and I'm not an all-knowing entity of all the host preflights we have, so I can't give you a full list. It is in the code, though, I believe, in the spec. But yeah, that's things that run outside of Kubernetes that are kind of troubleshooting related.
Okay.
Let me know, replicated folks, if I butchered anything there.
So I got the impression that when I would run a host preflight that I already had a Kubernetes cluster up and running, and it would just go onto the nodes and then basically try to inspect the nodes, the Kubernetes nodes. Is that how it works?
No. So at least that's not how it works right now. Right now, host preflights are like you would run it on a per node basis before there's even Kubernetes installed to make, so if you are bootstrapping Kubernetes, like for example, our curl project has host preflights that were like, hey, we need certain things there, or at least certain things in certain states, and it checks that before it even tries to install things.
Okay. Yeah, I will take a closer look at the host preflights and check it out.
Yeah,
see if I can get that working.
The host collectors is what you're looking for probably. If you look in the collect package, anything that starts with host underscore runs directly on the host.
Cool. Yeah, I see some examples in the tree, but I don't see host preflights in the docs. So I think that's where I'll look is in those examples.
Do we have that documented yet, or is it something in the pipeline about host preflights?
I could be missing it too.
I think we're just using it for curl internally right now, but I think it should be documented. I don't know why it's not.
Well, they're going through like a huge revamp right now, like help centers getting like torn down and rebuilt and stuff. So I'm sure it's on the list. And if not, then we'll add it to the list. All right. So we're still at open floor. And for some reason, that conversation sounds familiar. I don't know, Jeff, if I was eavesdropping on your conversation with Kyle or Kyle's conversation with somebody else, but that sounds familiar. Anything else for open floor? And I hope that you got a Kubernetes hat.
I don't think I did. I think I got a hoodie from your booth.
Nice. All right. Next time, I think there's more on order. They were apparently very popular. Open floor going once, going twice. All right. Well, I guess that is all that we have to discuss this meeting. We've got some action items, got some issues that are going to be coming in, some PRs that are going to be created. Super exciting. Thank you so much, Jeff, for joining our meeting. I hope to see you again next month. And for everyone that is watching on YouTube later on, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to catch up on what's happening with Troubleshoot. I guess that is it. So we're going to go ahead and sign off, and I'm going to give you the rest of this hour back. Thank you all so much for joining. See you next month.
Yep. Have a good one.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.